Randy Riley. He's the head of the automotive division for the county of Hawaii. I believe first-time candidate for
Yes.
office here. Hey, Randy, thank you very much for joining us. First of all, why do you want to be mayor?
Well, like you said, I work for the county, and I think it could be ran more like a business and save the taxpayers a lot of money. That's why I answered the question. I just find it really hard to believe it should cost over $1 million a day to operate this county. And until I can see why or where they're spending the money, I will say that. And if it's justifiable, it's justifiable. But I don't think there's anything's perfect. If they say they have a perfect system, there's always room for improvement. And that's what I'm going to look for.
Thanks for joining us, Randy. As you know, not all of the forums to date have featured all of the candidates, and this may be the first time that some of the listeners have a chance to hear a little bit about you. So if you could tell us a little bit about your experience and background that you think would make you a good mayor.
Well, I've been in the islands for 19 years. Before I came over to the Hilo, I was a superintendent for a construction company in Oahu, and then I moved over here, and I've been with the county of Hawaii now. Before I was in automotive, I was in Kona, highways division for the county, and I got some projects done over there that they said they couldn't be done. And you don't have to take my word for it. I'm a doer. I'm not a sayer. I'm not a talker. I think there's too much talk going on. You don't have to take my word for that. You can talk to the guys that work for me. I'm not afraid to make decisions that are going to upset people, but if they're in the best interest for the county of Hawaii, I'm all for it. This economic times are tough right now. They're going to get worse. And if I can put more money in the taxpayers' pockets, then I'm going to do it.
How would you do that?
Well, like I said at the beginning, I want to look at the structure of the real property tax. You got businesses right now that are struggling. And if we can give them some kind of break, or maybe every other year don't charge them a tax, something I want to look at, meet with the real property tax people and see what we can do to help the people. This is tough times right now, and we need to get tough about what we're going to do about it. And like I said, I'm not afraid to upset people.
I'd like to follow up on that a little bit, if I may. The county's operating budget now has grown over the years to approximately $400 million, give or take a few. I guess when you're talking millions and it becomes kind of lighthearted conversation, maybe that's a sign in itself. But do you believe that our government has become too big, and what sort of steps do you want to take to right-size it? In your own division, you obviously see what goes on there.
Well, first of all, I'd have to disagree with you. When you're talking about taxpayers' money, it's a big issue. Not lightheartedly at all, okay? I mean, right now, if I had to come in and take a major action, I would make a hiring freeze, and I would meet with all the division heads and say, hey, let's look at each division individually. Where can we save money? That's where I'd start, right there. Let's take the ball to the court and see what we can do right off the get-go.
One of the opportunities you would have as mayor is to appoint staff that could follow up on your particular vision of what you wanted to do. How do you see the type of philosophy and types of people that you would be appointing to your administration?
Well, Colin Powell said it best, General Colin Powell. A good leader is only as good as the people he surrounds himself with. So you have to go out there, and you really got to look at your people you're going to put in, that have the same beliefs as you and you can trust, and they got their wholehearted the same as you do. It's going to be a group effort, and I would surround myself by the best people I could find. I would do that by a panel interview process. Let's see if you're qualified. I would ask questions like, what do you believe in? I want somebody I can count on when the going gets tough that's not going to bail on me. And that's what I would surround myself by, good people. That's where I'd start.
Let's dive into the solid waste issue, because that's probably going to be the first hot button issue that the next mayor is going to have to address. And what sort of plans do you have for disposing of our solid waste once the East Hawaii landfill is closed? And is waste to energy part of the solution that you would envision?
Well, it's my personal opinion that this issue should have been resolved already. It's been how many years? 8, 10, 12 years, 2 mayors, 3 mayors, I don't know, for sure. I've lost track. But, the way the economy is right now, you're going to have to sell. I believe we need to go, my personal opinion, we need to go look at waste energy. Some form, whether I don't know what it's all out there, but I would really solicit that, because in these tough times, you're going to have people that want to do work now. They want to come over here and show you their product because they're not, the economy's so bad. You send out the invitations. I'm sure you're going to get plenty of takers right now the way things are. It's not like it was a few years ago when there's plenty of work and no, we don't need that job. I think you're going to get a lot more companies looking at this if you put it out there, and that's what I would do. I would work with the solid waste division, and let's get on this. It's been too long. And in my personal opinion, the way the cost of fuel is and the traffic, I don't think we need to be hauling waste from east to west. I really don't.
Now, some are seemingly suggesting that we can actually recycle our way out of this, but if I'm not mistaken, I think that 69% is about the highest recycling rate that any municipality in the country has. That is San Francisco, and Seattle is about 20% behind that. So what's the maximum upside to recycling?
Well, I think we need to push recycling as much as we can, but I have to agree with you. I don't think you're going to get rid of all your trash by recycling. Just if it could be done, I think be doing it already. But I think we do need to really push the recycling issue more too. It's schools everywhere. Where people work, they just need to be educated about it.
Okay, Randy, as you mentioned earlier, some people are hurting. The cost of gas is really high. There's lots of taxes and things like that. A lot of people are losing their jobs. We've lost a lot of them over the past year. How would you try to rev up the economic engine on the Big Island? What types of industries would you like to particularly look at?
Well, I would like to look at helping the farmers, the agriculture. Let's give them some incentives too, and some tax breaks also. We have one of the best climates in the world. So I would push growing more of our own goods here and market them right here. Everything's shipped over here. I think we could save a lot and money, and I think we could produce a lot of jobs if we supported the farmers and helped them get going. Like I just read in the paper, there's a farm up Hamakua, I think, is going to start growing their own corn, and they're going to save like $1 billion. I think we should look into that and help all the farmers in the produce and ag.
University of Hawaii at Hilo has proved to be not only an educational but economical crown jewel. What, in your view, can the county do to help the university grow and develop? And do you have any specific proposals that you would propose as mayor?
Well, the university is ran by the state, so I would really lobby and work with the state to get all the funding we can to help the college here, the university out here, and work together. That's what everybody's just tough times right now. State, local, and federal government, they're all going to have to work together to get through this, and that's what I would really push for that.
Okay. I would like to know if there's anything that the county council has done within the past cycle, the past term, that you thought was particularly good or particularly bad, and you can answer both of those.
Well, my personal opinion on that is I believe the mayor should be at every council meeting. I really do. I've done a little bit of research on this, and a lot of counties have their mayor chair every meeting, and then he's the deciding vote if there's a tie, and I think that would be something to look at. I would try to avoid the gap between the county mayor's office and the council members. We're here to work together. We're here to solve problems together. I would try to run it more like I do my division. Every year when budget time comes up, I go to my supervisors at my Kona base yard, my Waimea base yard, and I say, what would make your operations at your base yard more efficient? Give me a wish list. And then we start tearing them down. Waimea gets one, Hilo gets one, Kona gets one. And until what money we have allotted, that's what we do. Then everybody gets a piece of the pie. I would try to do the same thing with the council members. Go to your people, see what you want in your districts, and let's start doing them one at a time. When we get done with those, we'll go down to the next line. You're just working together, and everybody gets a little bit of the improvements or whatever they want. Whether it's a park improved or a new road, whatever. Everybody gets a little piece of the pie doing it that way. That's what I would try to do.
Well, as our population has grown, infrastructure has been struggling to keep up, and there have been a number of types of ideas that have been floated over the years to try to pay for it, because it does get pretty expensive trying to go and build a new road here or expand one by a couple of lanes in each direction. And some of these things have included developer impact fees, developers agreements. Where do you stand on any of those? Or is there one that you think might be workable?
Well, I do believe we need to, I will support the roads as much as I can, whether we have to get federal funds or whatever. I really want, we need to improve the roads. Right now, we need Puna. Right now, if something would happen in the Puna district, if that volcano would block that road, those people are trapped. You know, we just opened up an emergency access road in Waikoloa. I don't know why we can't. That's another issue I think should be resolved. Why can't we open one for the people in the Puna district? Even if it's only opened up for emergencies or during rush hour traffic, I think we need to look at the issue of improving the roads island-wide, and I would support that.
When we talk about roads and traffic, also an issue there is public transportation. What are your ideas on our current structure of public transportation on the Big Island, and what changes would you like to make?
Well, I have to agree with Mayor Kim right now, what he did. I think it's a good thing. You know, the Helion bus, he's letting the people, you know, travel for free. The Big Island is so vast, I would try, and I know a lot of the money for the transit system comes from federal grants. I would try to get as much federal grant money as we could to buy more buses to make it more user-friendly for the people of the island, so you make more routes, you know, so it's worth their while to take the bus. And you know, that would save a lot on cost for the people, too.
With the economic challenges that we have going on, they present a very, very vivid reminder that, like it or not, we do have a homeless population here. And a lot of these people actually have jobs, so it's not like they're the unemployed that just don't have a shelter over their head. What sort of things do you see that maybe the county can do to go and try and bring about more affordable housing, get more inventory that is going to be there so that more of these people can actually find long-term shelter?
Well, I think the county just rejected a bill on that, I believe, with about the tents, temporary structures. I think, you know, if you're working and you just don't have enough, I believe I would look at supporting, you know, temporary structures, you know, a time limit to get enough money so you could build a structure. You know, everybody likes to own a house, and you're right. We need to look at more affordable housing. Whether when the developers are making new developments, hey, have them fit the bill. Make that part of the development to put some houses in there, make for affordable housing. You know, we work together, make them when they're developing, get the roads and the sidewalks up to ADA. You know, put just a lot of it on the developer and work with the planning department.
When you talk about putting these requirements on developers, that may cause a disincentive for developers to develop on the Big Island, and we're getting into issues here of planning and zoning and things like that. Are there any particular models that we've followed in the past years that you think are an example of a good aspect of public planning, or a particular bad one that you thought didn't work out?
Well, to be honest with you, nothing comes to mind right now, but I would look at the whole planning department and, you know, see where we can be more user-friendly for the public. Same with the building division. You know, those guys, they try to do their best, but their hands are tied a lot. The whole permit process needs to be looked at because, you know, the way I understand it, if you go to apply for a permit, you know, they use to track that permit by using TMK or the permit number. But then, once you apply, it's up to you to walk it through the planning division, then the engineering division, and then the health department. And then if it's a commercial, you have to go through the solid waste and fire department. So I think we could speed up the whole process of the permits if we put time restraints on how long they have it. Like if planning has it 5 days or 5 days at the health department. You know, speed up the process instead of giving them, I've heard it's over 30 days in some departments to have it. And that's just absurd. You know, we could speed up the process by, you know, looking at time restraints on each division that has to look at it.
Okay. I think according to the timekeeper, we're just about out of time. But Randy, I'd like to thank you very much for joining us this evening and sharing with us your views on the important issues facing the county.
Well, you know, I just thank you for the opportunity. And, you know, like I said before, what you see is what you get. I'm not going to be afraid to make any decisions that upset people. I just want to make them for the best interest of the county of Hawaii. And thank you guys for your time.
Great. Thank you. That's Randy Riley, candidate for mayor.